The biggest thing that stops a lot of beginner content creators from actually starting their content creation journey is their content creation setup. And that is why in today's video, I'm gonna give you a beginner's guide to the content creator equipment you need to have when you're getting started with your content creation, or at least what I started with when I was getting started with my content creation journey. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Gloria, and let's get to it. And the very first thing that I think all of us already know about content creation is you need to be present on a social media sharing platform. Because let's face it, when you're doing content creation, essentially what you're doing is something we call media creation. You're creating a piece of media that is going to be shared across the world on a specific topic or a specific expertise that you have that you want to spread awareness about. And the social media platforms that are there are a number. You need to pick a social media platform that works for you, because either way, for your content creation journey to get started, you need to share this particular piece of media across the globe. And then the second thing that we need to talk about in content creation is the type of content that you're actually going to be creating. Because all of us already know there are different types of content that you can create. That's why we have podcasters, we have writers, we have bloggers, we also have video content creators, YouTubers, Instagrammers, TikTokers. Name them. There is a specific piece of media that they create that is able to be shared across different platforms, because different platforms or different social platforms require different types of media that is going to be considered as content. So if you want to get started with written content, you need to pay attention to your copyright, you need to pay attention to the tone of voice and how you are going to structure your posts in a written format when you're sharing them on this particular social media platform. The second type of content you can create is video content. This is mostly shared either on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, as well as Facebook, because this is the golden type of content that is shared on these particular platforms. And then the third thing that you need to pay attention to in your content creation requirements is the quality that you actually want to deliver. Now here, we're going to have a real talk, because as a content creator, there's a certain level of quality you want to be producing in each piece of content you're going to be creating, whether that's on social media, as a podcaster, or even written content. There is a specific level of delivery you want to have. There is a specific level of importance that you're going to attach to every piece of content that you're going to be creating. And that level of quality is defined by you. So you have to decide what is the quality of the video that you're going to be doing, what is the message that you're going to be sharing, what is your industry, who exactly are you talking to in your content, and what problems are you going to be consistently solving as you continue creating the content that you're going to be creating as a creator. Because it's very important for you to define what is the quality that people can expect when they decide to follow you on your social media platforms, or when they decide to pay attention to the kind of content that you are going to be creating long term. Now, the first set of tools that we need to cover are the technical tools that you're going to require when you're starting your video creation, because in this particular series that we've been covering, I'm teaching you guys everything I know about becoming a video content creator. And the very first thing that you need to have is a form of decent camera that you can afford. Now, let's face it, we do not have the thousands of dollars that are required to purchase a new camera, especially when you're starting out. And that is why the best alternative you can have is the phone that you currently have access to, whether that's through your siblings, your partner, or even the phone that you already have. You need to look at the camera quality that you have in your phone, and that is what you're going to get started with. Guys, I have grown from 0 to 500 subscribers on my YouTube channel just by using my camera on my phone. The second tool that you'll pay attention to is something that is going to make sure that your audio is decent, because people can watch low quality videos, but no one is going to tolerate audio that is shitty. You need to pay attention to your audio. Now, for me, I am glad that my phone actually comes with a good inbuilt microphone, so you guys can be able to hear me and hear me clearly when I am creating and articulating the words that I'm saying in my videos. But if your camera does not have a good audio quality, or you even want to improve your audio quality, you can consider getting yourself an external microphone. There are good microphones that you can check out and see if these are things that you can actually purchase, because it is very easy for you to access good quality audio with external mics. The third tool that you need to have is a good tripod. Now, if you guys have never known, I actually do have a very good tripod. It is not a budget-friendly tripod because it did cost me a bit. I think I got it for around $60, give or take, when I bought it. I do have a strong tripod that I usually use when I'm shooting my content on YouTube. So you can get yourself a tripod. It can either be a desktop tripod, or you can also have a long, strong tripod. I don't know how they're called in technical terms. I'm not someone who's really into filming gear, so I don't really know what their name is. The next technical tool that you need to have, of course, it's going to be an external hard drive or a hard drive or an external USB, because when you are editing or when you are creating footage, you need a place where you can store your footage, especially if you're someone who's into batch content creation. You need to pay attention to external storage so that you can be able to store all your footage, all your filming, all the filming content that you've done over the couple of years, so that when you're sitting down to edit, you're sitting down to edit multiple videos and you have already stored enough content for you to be able to keep churning out content as much as you can. The next tool that you need to have in your possession, of course, it's going to be some decent laptop that's going to allow you to actually edit your videos. Because if you're becoming a video content creator, I'm not going to lie, video editing is going to be part of your workflow, and you need to ensure that you have a laptop that can be able to edit, whether it's 1080p videos or 4K videos, depending on what quality of footage you actually take. You need a laptop that is going to handle that level of editing and that level of processing and rendering when it's editing your videos or when you're doing your video edits, without your machine crashing, because yes, machines do crash when you're editing. So ensure that the laptop you have can be able to actually handle the video workload that you have when you are becoming a content creator. The next set of tools we have to talk about are content creation software tools that you're going to be using. So in this particular part of this video, I'm going to tell you what software tool and where to actually use it, because remember, I am branding back to the basics. And so the very first software tool that you'll need to have is a project management tool. Now, the reason why a project management tool is so important is because with every video that you're going to be creating, or with every content piece that you're going to be creating, you need a system that will help you organize all your ideas in a well documented, or rather in a well formulated process that you can follow every single time. And a project management tool is supposed to help you do that. Now, for me, I use ClickUp, and I really do love ClickUp because of its vibrant colors. So if you're interested in getting started with any project management tool, I would definitely highly recommend ClickUp. If you're not into colors, you can try Notion, and if you're not into Notion, you can probably try Asana. The second tool that you'll need to have is a content calendar. Now, for me, for example, my content calendar is actually created in Google Sheets, mainly because Google Sheets is accessible from anywhere. So I can access it on my phone, and I can also access it on my laptop. So whenever I get an idea, it's easy for me to add it up to my Google Sheet because I can access it from anywhere, and that is why my content calendar is in Google Sheets. Now, I do use this particular template for all my content creation ideas for YouTube, my newsletter, and my blog. So if you need me to create a template, feel free to let me know in the comment section, and I'm going to make this particular content calendar because I am proud of it. into a digital template that I can share with you guys, and you can purchase it if you don't want to deal with the hassle of creating it from scratch. And then the third software tool that you're going to need is an editing tool. Now there are a number of editing tools out there, but when you're just beginning your journey in content creation, you need to access all the free tools that you can actually access, because remember, you may not have the budget to actually purchase a license for any software, for any editing software that is usually in the market. Now, when it comes to editing, there are 3 tools I would actually recommend. The very first tool that I would recommend is CapCut. You guys have seen all the CapCut tutorials, and I'm pretty sure there are a ton of amazing creators who've created tutorials on CapCut. So you can get started with CapCut. Even though there is a subscription nowadays, it still does have its free version. If you're looking to get into a more advanced tool, or you want something that is more movie production editing kind of software, then you can use DaVinci. DaVinci does have a free version, so if you're trying to get started and understand more details about how movie people do their editing, their color grading, DaVinci is a really great tool for you to nibble your hands around doing exactly that. And then the third tool, this is the tool that I personally use. You can also use Kdenlive. Now Kdenlive is an open source video editing tool. The team at Kdenlive actually got their inspiration to design Kdenlive to actually resemble Adobe Premiere Pro. So if you don't have the money to pay for the license of Adobe Premiere Pro, you can try Kdenlive. It's an open source editing tool. I've been using it for 2 years now, and I believe it is a great tool, especially if you don't want to have your laptop do more RAM intensive or very heavy processing with your video editing process. And then the fourth tool that you will probably need is a social media management tool. Now there are a number of social media management tools, but the reason why this is really important is so that you can stay organized if you're managing more than one social media platform. So if you have a website and you're also doing TikTok, or if you have TikTok and Instagram, or you are using LinkedIn and you're also on TikTok, or you're on YouTube and you're also on TikTok, whatever number of channels you're present on as a beginner content creator, you do need to have a social media management tool. And the one that I would recommend is Metrical. Now I have spoken about Metrical before, and I really love them because of the data analytics feature. By the way, this video is not sponsored by any of the tools that I've mentioned. I just really do enjoy using these particular tools, and I believe that they would be of help in your content creation journey. Now that we've covered both the technical tools and the software tools that you need to get started with video content creation, here are some nice to haves that I think are going to be really beneficial if you're getting started with your content creation journey. And the first nice to have is a journal. Now a lot of you might not be noting things down, but I do really emphasize on having a journal with you, because that is one of the things that can actually get you into creativity. Because the more you journal, the more you get to understand your voice as a content creator, or the voice you have in your entire personality, which is going to be reflective when you start creating your video content, because people can read through the lenses, people can read through what they see in front of their screens. So if you want to make sure that you stay true to yourself, make sure you have a journal with you, because when you're overthinking, especially when you're overthinking the video ideas and everything, a journal is going to be really beneficial. The second nice to have would be your brand kit. Now, a lot of you might not be thinking about this, but it is very essential for you to have a brand kit, especially if you're trying to make video content creation a serious thing for you. You need to identify what is going to be your signature color, your signature fonts. How are you going to be showing up? What are your content pillars? What are your brand pillars? What does quality look like for you? You have to define exactly what that is, because a lot of the times, especially with social media channels, you will have to ensure that you have imprinted what is common to you, so that people can start associating these particular things, these values, these colors with you as a video content creator. So you can't just assume that everything will fall into place if you do not have a brand kit which covers your brand identity, your brand guidelines, as well as the brand assets that you're going to be using every single time you are creating your video content. Then a third nice to have would be a business plan or a monetization plan. Because remember, when you're starting with content creation, monetization is actually a possibility once you get serious with your content creation. So if you do know that you can, if you do know and if you do plan to be making money out of content creation, make sure you have at least a monetization plan if you don't have a business plan. This essentially is going to be a step-by-step plan of how you are going to be monetizing your skills, whether that's through digital products, coaching, consultation, or you are going to build a course around exactly what you do. Now, with that being said, I'm really hoping that you guys found this video to be helpful. If you did, then make sure you give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I am definitely thinking about doing either a tutorial on editing or filming. So whichever you guys need to be done first, make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. But otherwise, that is it from me. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and as always, I will see you in the next one.